Hello and welcome to Cali Legends Medias. I want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed to my channel, who's been hanging in there with me, who's been watching the videos, hitting them likes, making them comments. Appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, so this is a part two of something that I spoke on yesterday regarding Swifty Blue. Okay. As I mentioned in that video, as time goes on, things are going to come out. Eventually, in the end, when everything's said and done, the truth will be known. Right now, they uncovered a little bit more of the truth, okay? And it seems that the truth of the matter is that some individuals were talking on the phone, and of course, everybody knows the phone calls are recorded. But you know what? I've noticed something. A lot of people, they don't care. They don't care that they're being recorded. There's been videos on social media that are done on the phones that are in the day room. You could hear the recordings, every so often saying that this phone call is coming from prison and is being recorded. And I'm not just talking about the average bear talking on these phones. People that are very knowledgeable, people that have done a lot of years behind those walls. And they know this, but they go ahead and they conduct their business. I'm not going to mention any names or any neighborhoods or anything, okay? But it's came out on social media that happens from time to time. And from time to time, these cell phones and other devices that are supposedly snuck in quietly into the prison by staff and other people, a lot of them phones are tainted, man. They're already wired for the gathering of information. The whole purpose of letting them into the prison is so that they could hear what's going on. Okay, I think everybody knows that, and I know I did a video on that. I explained that clearly. Even these apps like WhatsApp and other apps that supposedly the messages are encrypted and all that, that's all bullshit. Law enforcement could hear a lot of things going on. Too much business is done on the phone. And even when people code what they're saying, sometimes they're able to figure it out, like what happened in the case with Swifty Blue. Apparently, when he got dealt with in the county jail, someone got on the phone and sent a message out saying that he did his performance or whatever, and he's going to be doing another show on another floor, so on and so forth. And probably they wouldn't have been able to figure what was being said, but the simple fact that something happened there on the floor where Swifty was at, where he got opened up and moved to another floor, shows that law enforcement found out right away. Now, one thing that's mentioned over and over again is Swifty Blue knows the game. He knows what he signed up for. He's not a little kid. Yeah, he's a youngster, but he's not a little kid. Maybe he don't have good clecha. I don't know what his case is. But, when you get touched like that, you can't go to medical. You don't go to law enforcement or to the deputies and, hey, man, I got to go and get stitches. And you got to fix yourself up the best you can and deal with your situation according to those that know, And apparently he ended up going to another floor and then going home. Now, I don't know what's going on with that case, but obviously he hasn't been incarcerated for those charges yet. I can't say that Swifty Blue's all bad because I don't know, but time will tell. time will tell if he ever said anything or mentioned anything or anything that he did. It always comes out. It's going to come out in time, you know. But apparently they knew something happened with him showing up, opened up somehow, or poked or whatever his case was, and beat up, you know. I don't know if they found him during count. Maybe he was trying to hide and they told him to come here, let me take a look at you or something. Maybe they heard the commotion and ran in, and we don't know. We don't know nothing about what the situations are. But I did mention that he's suspect. We don't know, you know. And obviously he's got something hanging over him that that's angered a lot of people. Okay. And, you know, allegedly his own homeboys are upset with him also. Makes him suspect. He must have did something. He violated some rule. He did something he wasn't supposed to do. And, you know, he's not a little kid. He knew when he signed up what he signed up for. So I know a lot of people like Swifty. You know, I don't feel one way or another about the guy. I like to listen to him when he came out with something new. You know, he came out with good lyrics, man. You know, he talked some shit, and I like the way he put it together. You know, but regardless of anything, just the fact that he's in hot water, I would just keep an arm's distance from dude. You know, that's all I'm saying. But you know, I don't wish no bad on him. I don't know if he could ever recover from this. I know a lot of people are able to recover from a lot of things, depending where you're at and who you're with and who you talk to. But I don't know if this is something that he can recover from. Hopefully so. You know, I'd hate to see us lose another young artist, a young Chicano artist. You know, but if he's going to represent, he's got to represent to the fullest. You know, and you know, he has things on his face, things on his body that indicate that, you know, he's with it. And apparently he might have made some mistakes along the way. I don't know. You know, I'm not interested of knowing. I just hope that some way he's able to bail out of this mess that he's in, because it's all bad, you know. I didn't call him a snitch. You know, I'm not insinuating that he snitched. I'm saying we don't know anything until everything's said and done and the courts have ran and everything's documented. Then we see what's up. But in the meantime, like I said, you know, there's some suspicion surrounding the young man, you know. I'm not saying suspicion of tallying. There's some suspicion. Something's going on with dude, you know, something that's not good for his health, or maybe the health of anybody that really misses with dude. But hey, you know, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other situation. Basically, I caught wind in the morning. I released my video later on during the day, and I guess some other stuff had come out that I hadn't seen yet. So in the evening, I picked up on more information. And apparently people were talking on the phone. So, you know, allegedly. If they were talking about him, I don't know. But supposedly there's a confidential informant in there. Or maybe they know who the informant is. I don't know. But somebody who was working with law enforcement was being spoken to and hearing. And you know what? I did another video on that, about talking about things when you're incarcerated. Not only because the walls got ears, because they do. You know, cells are wired to listen to conversations. You don't know who they put in the cell with you. You know, they could even put an officer from some other part of, you know, some other county, and or a professional informant, which is someone who does this on a regular, you know, for money. And so you're never supposed to talk about your case, not even discuss it up in the air, you know. The way I was taught, when you're talking about things like that, You guys sit next to each other with paper and pen, and you guys write each other huilas and pass them back and forth. Puro pedo. But you get close up and you have your discussion, and keep it on a whisper, when nobody's around. But apparently, shit got blown out of proportion by the people involved in this mess, And whatever part Swifty played, we don't know. We can't assume that he had no part in it. We can't assume that he did. That's why I said time will tell, and we'll know when everything's said and done. Everybody have a blessed day. This is the last time I'm going to speak on this. I don't like speaking about things that involve dark politics and stuff. So thank you for commenting. We had a lot of people in the comments. Thank you for watching the video. We had a good number of views. I really appreciate that. So thank you for watching. God bless you. God bless your family. Stay safe, people. And most importantly, stay free. Hope to see you on the next video. Don't forget to hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. No harm, no foul. If later on you're not happy, you could always unsubscribe. And that's perfectly fine. But hopefully you'll enjoy the content and I'll be able to keep things interesting. Don't forget to hit that like. Thank you very much.